One of the causes of unhappiness in our lives is something called personality drivers. So I want to tell you about the 4 personality drivers, and then we can look at how we can keep them under control. Now, these drivers are thought processes that come from our childhood, from our upbringing. And there are 4 lasting obsessions that come from this upbringing to varying extents. So you might have none of these, you might have 1 or 2, or even, heaven forbid, you might have all 4 of these. So I'm going to describe the 4, and then we'll look at what can we do about them. So the first driver is known as be perfect. And this comes from being punished for making mistakes when we were little, like, spelling mistakes and things like that. So the be perfect driver is where people are obsessed with getting everything exactly right. So when you put your tins of tomatoes in the cupboard in the kitchen, do you always put them the right way up? Do you put them with the label to the front? So how be perfect are you? How fussy are you? Are you really upset if there's a little scratch on the screen of your iPhone, or do you not really care? So that's the be perfect driver. And you can see already how that's going to make you less happy in life, because you're going to think, oh, every time you see the scratch on your iPhone, it's going to make you unhappy. When really, should it? Does it matter really? I remember being driven through India on holiday years ago, and I remember seeing people sitting by the side of the road, just living in a little tent with nothing. And I suddenly realized that the scratch on my iPhone just didn't matter. But the be perfect driver will make you unhappy if you let it. The second driver is the hurry up driver. So this is a voice in your head that comes from your upbringing. It actually comes from fear of being left behind when you were little, when your parents are saying, come on, we're going. If you're not ready, we'll leave you behind. So the hurry up driver is where you're obsessed by trying to fit more and more into your day. You're looking at your emails while you're walking up the stairs, you're phoning people as you walk around, you're juggling everything. And of course, we live in a hurry up world now where everything is speeding up. Most people multi-screen now. When they're watching television, they're also on their phone doing stuff. But is that actually going to make you happier? So the hurry up driver leads to stress. It leads to us not living in the present. We forget to smell the roses. So the hurry up driver will make you less happy if you let it. So to what extent do you suffer from that one? The third driver, and remember, you might have all of these or none of them. The third one is the please others driver. And this comes from when we were children. Because children are naturally selfish, they have to be trained to consider other people. You must share your toys. You must share your food. This leaves a lasting impression on some of us. And some of us become obsessed with what will other people think, and we worry excessively about what other people think about us. So in moderation, the please others driver is great, but if it becomes too obsessive, it'll make you unhappy because you'll always worry about what other people think. I remember when the children were little, we used to go out sometimes in the evening and we'd have a babysitter, and my wife, who has the please others driver, would always worry excessively about whether the babysitter was happy, to the point where she didn't really want to go out. And I'm thinking, the babysitter's getting paid, it's great for them, we get to go out, everybody wins. But my wife, when we were out, would be worrying about, is the babysitter okay? So the please others driver will make you less happy if you spend too much time trying to please other people and worrying about whether you've achieved that, and then less time pleasing yourself. Then finally, there's the be strong driver. And this comes from being laughed at when you were little. So the be strong driver is all about not showing your emotions. So when I was at school, there was one of the boys in our class who was terrified of wasps. And guess what happened? Every time he opened his desk, we would have put a wasp in there. Sometimes a dead one, sometimes a live one would come flying out. And I regret that. I feel bad about it now. That's what we did back then. So in an environment like that, you learn to not show fear and to not cry, to not show any weakness, because otherwise it would be exploited by the other kids. Kids can be cruel. So that transfers into your adult life, where you have the be strong driver and you don't show emotions. And this will also reduce your happiness, because quite often showing emotions is a great thing to do with a group of people. And it's also related, of course, to stress, because you're bottling up your emotions if you've got the be strong driver. And in fact, you can see how all 4 of these drivers are linked to stress. So you may have none of these drivers, you may have 1, 2, 3, even all 4 of them. The thing about them is that they're always there. It's like you're looking at the world through a tinted lens of how can I do it quicker? Are people happy? Is it good enough? You're always thinking about these 4 things if you suffer from them. And the more you feed them, the stronger they get. So if you try to make things perfect, you end up just more obsessed with trying to make things perfect. Or if you try to please other people, you end up more and more obsessed by are they happy? So feeding them doesn't make them go away. They just become a bigger and bigger mental monster, and they don't make you happy. Trying to make things perfect will not make you happy. Trying to please other people all the time will not make you happy. Of course, doing good things for other people does make you happy, but worrying about whether you've made them happy enough, that will not make you happy. So they all have benefits in moderation, but not when they get too large. If we just think about that for a moment, Be Perfect has benefits in moderation because it makes you do things really well, but you don't want to become obsessive about detail. And hurrying up, it's great to get on with things to an extent, but not to become obsessive about it. And pleasing other people, clearly in moderation, that's a good idea, but don't become obsessive. And then being strong, maybe we can't always express our emotions. If you're, the captain of a battleship, you don't want to go, oh, I'm really frightened, and tell your crew. So there are times when you may not want to show your emotions, but not good to bottle them up. What would these people be like on holiday? Well, the Be Perfect person's going to have a little pack list and be really obsessed about everything being neat and tidy. The hurry up person's going to be going, come on, that's the Taj Mahal, we've seen that, what can we do next? The please others person is probably going to go on a holiday they don't really want to go on, but they've gone with their family, and then they're going to clean the room before they leave at the end of the holiday. And then the Be Strong person is not going to enjoy themselves on holiday, or they're not going to show that they're enjoying themselves. So all of them are going to have their issues. So what is the therapy if you feel that you've got one of these drivers? And the answer is to push back against the driver. Don't let it get bigger in your mind. So the Be Perfect person, if they want to be happier, they've got to say, I'm only going to spend half an hour on this. It's going to be good enough. That last detail won't kill me, so I will leave it like it is. Now, in the short term, they may feel less happy about that, but as they overcome their Be Perfect driver, they will become happier. They'll be free of it. The hurry up person has got to think, I will allow some extra time. I'm going to factor in some chill time. I'm going to walk instead of driving or cycling, and I'm going to listen to the birds singing, and I'm going to look at the beauty of the trees, and I'm going to feel the sunlight on my face, and I'm going to enjoy it. And the hurry up person needs to learn that arriving early isn't a waste. If you allow plenty of time and you get them early, that's much less stressful than rushing there and arriving with seconds to spare. So the hurry up person will get more happiness if they can slow down. Then the please others person, their therapy is to say to themselves, I'll do what I want. I'll focus on my goals. I'll do what I want to do because I'm worth it. So they have to be a bit more selfish. And again, in the short term, that may make them feel less happy. But in the longer term, if they can overcome that driver, they will be more happy because they'll be looking after themselves more. So they need to say to themselves, I will do my best, and that will have to be good enough. And they can tell me if they're not happy. I'm not going to worry about whether they're unhappy. If they're not, they can tell me. And if they're unhappy and they don't tell me, then that's their problem, not mine. Finally, there's the Be Strong driver. So their therapy is to open up and express themselves more. Could you express your emotions more to other people? Could you be more honest with people? Could you tell them if you're unhappy? Could you say if you want things? And also, could you say to them when you are happy? Could you tell them that everything's great and that you're really enjoying their company more? So the Be Strong person, their therapy is to open up more and express more emotions. So, which of the 4 drivers have you got, and what actions are you going to take to push back against that driver and to get it under control?